Hello everyone and welcome to this special discussion on higher education. We are at the Delhi School of Business campus and joining us is an eminent panel. We have all gathered here to discuss today's topic, which is modernizing India, education and nation building. How can education be used to modernize India? There are rapid changes happening in the country. From agriculture economy, we are fast moving to industrialization and post-industrialization. We need to skill people, reskill people and reskill further. Before we begin the discussion, let me introduce you to the eminent panelists. So sir, my first question to you is, what is the current status of higher education in India according to you? Are we on the right track? Are we heading in the right direction?
It's a very difficult question to answer because in some cases we have done extremely well, in some cases we have miserably failed. The figure of gross enrollment ratio, if we just look at, it's a very difficult question to answer because in some cases we have done extremely well, in some cases we have miserably failed. The figure of gross enrollment ratio, if we just look at, from 8.5% to today about 19% is a great achievement, I say that. Now through this process, public-private partnership, the way it has come, the 90% of the technical education today is in the hand of the private organizations. And only 10% is in the hand of the so-called public institutions. So there we see that major problem is in terms of not hardware, but in terms of the software. That's the faculty. The faculty crunch is tremendously high. We have expanded, but we have not put a system in place in terms of developing and nurturing the faculty. But another interesting thing that is happening where we can take a credit about it, that use of the ICT in terms of taking care of these faculty crunches. Very recently, I was appointed as a member secretary of evaluating National Mission of Education through ICT by the Minister of HRD. While we are evaluating it, we found that it has a great hope in terms of taking care of the faculty crunch. The way the things have been taking place by using the 4-quadrant approach, which generally we do it in our classroom and in education institution, most of them are trying to be made inbuilt into those programs. So it is just a reward that in the 12th five-year plan they are going to extend it, and a lot of money is going to be pumped into it. So today with IITs, 6 IITs coming together in the name of the NPTEL program, they have developed about 1,000 course curriculum, which is available now in our success portal. Now it is available by 24/7. Any students can access from any time. And through Knowledge Commission, most of the institutions and the universities have been well connected. And there is a hope that any student wants to have any access of the good material that is available. So this is in a nutshell. I would say that in some cases we have achieved, in some cases we could not do the things which was expected to do, and we are in the right track. We ought to go a long way.
Dr. Pental, would you like to add something to this?
No, I think IT-based tools can only be a supplement. I don't believe that, like engineering education is a lot of work you do in the by hand. You need workshops, you need practical areas, you need to be seeing faculty which is a research-oriented faculty. So I think, any supplementary material, whether books or IT-based lectures from the best of the IITs, I personally feel that, there are some policy deficits which we are having right now. So lots of small reforms, and at the big level there should be a national policy for higher education. Where do we want to go?
Correct. Coming back to, sir, the quality of faculty and the shortage of teachers, Do you think there should be some out-of-box ideas where we can probably take this issue?
If we really want to increase or really take the challenges of the faculty crunches, these great institutions must come out and collaborate with other institutions. They must adopt few nearby institutions.
So are you in favor of a single national policy on higher education?
There has to be. There has to be a synergy. Because unless until there is a national policy, what is the synergy? What is the driving force? What is the direction? So has to be a national policy on higher education, which essentially will get percolated to different institutional level.
Two immediate steps that can be taken, say in next 6 months or 1 year, that can help improve the situation.
Let the teachers' evaluations be put in place.
Okay, and the next
That's one. And second thing, a directive to all great institutions that you are to do the research and you have to take number of research scholars who can become a good faculty member. It is not necessary that a good researcher can be a good faculty member, but majority of the cases it has been seen, 75 to 80% cases, those who are a good researcher, they subsequently become a good teacher.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you. Time for a break now. After the break, Dr. S.C. Vats will be joining us in place of Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay. Welcome back to the special show on higher education. Let's get back into the discussion. We are being joined by Dr. S.C. Vats, Chairman, Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies. Continuing with our discussions, Swamiji, I would like to know your views on value-based education. The recent instances in Delhi and otherwise show that the real purpose of education is lost.
Brother, you were perfectly correct. This was a serious defect which was found out by Swami Vivekananda as early as 1893. A new view has come, especially in the West, that is our view, that unless the right brain and the left brain develops, this intuitive brain and this rational brain, both the brains develop, we can't have maximum productivity. Our brains don't work to that level. They have started this program after some research, after extensive research of the split brain analysis. They have found that one brain, this is aggressive, this is cooperative, this is rational, this is intuitive, and if both halves of the brain work, the man becomes a superman.
So you believe that meditation should be part of the curriculum?
Of course, not only meditation, but any system, any spiritual culture which activates the Buddha brain, the Christ brain, that we have not taught. Now Harvard University has got 3 meditation centers.
Ma'am, how far do you agree with Swamiji's views?
I agree with what Swamiji has said, but I would like to look at another dimension of the issue, which is, he spoke about interconnectedness between human beings. And right now, with our rural-urban migration, where we are going from living in agglomerations of a few thousand to agglomerations in urban areas of a few million, those interconnectedness, which was based on traditional values, have been ruptured, right? And they haven't actually been replaced by new institutions because this migration is very new. And whether it's higher education or whether it is political culture, civil society, all of this is about building new institutions in a modernized India.
Correct.
Right? And that is one of the additional dimensions that I see to what Swamiji is mentioning about interconnectedness. That identification is necessary.
I can't leave you without asking this question. According to MHRD's figures, women enrollment percentage was 40% in 2006-2007. It marginally increased to 41.5% by 2010 and 11. So is it a reflection of gender disparity in some way? How should we deal with the issue?
Well, there certainly is gender disparity, and nobody is going to deny that. again, to go back to what I mentioned earlier, in modernization, the role of women changed. And the role of women has always been economically productive, though it was mostly within the home, and therefore did not fetch a price.
Okay.
But outside the home, it fetches a price. There is a labor value to it. And in the post-industrial society, much less in the industrial society, but more in the knowledge economy, women are able to be very functional and productive. So I hope over time that India will, we see it already, women are becoming more economically independent in the knowledge sector. So while the manufacturing sector may absorb more men, the knowledge sector will likely absorb more women, and the number of women attending college and higher education would go up.
Coming to the poor quality of education, sir, what are the short-term and long-term steps that can be taken to improve it?
I think there is no golden rule that, you know, these are the 5 things that you will do, then you will become Harvard or Princeton. It doesn't work like that. And secondly, what has been missing, you know, our young children, I don't think we are training them to question so much as much it is in the Western cultures.
Swamiji, how can we put in value system in our education, put in moral values in our education system? How can we teach our children that, okay, let us be responsible to our work?
I think you have heard about the Ramakrishna Mission schools.
Yes, sir.
I was the principal of the best school of the Ramakrishna Mission. Our experience is very simple. People, students used to come from very poor houses. Got some admission there. Then, from the first day, we taught them prayers and good mathematics, good sciences, but morning prayer, evening prayer, morning prayer, evening prayer. They are learning computer, this, that, and they became exceptionally brilliant. The boy who got 64% after 1 year of training, he got 94% and record-breaking mark. One of my students, he was very naughty, but he used to repeat home. He got 2006 and 2009, he got the best scientist award from USA. And he brought 500 crores of rupees to help people. If you can teach them very practically some prayers, especially home. In America today, even Hillary Clinton or Al Gore, they are converts to home meditation. At the moment, as the record goes, 200 universities are teaching. Om is universal. From the word Om has come the Christian word Amen. From the Christian word Amen has come the word Amin. So Vedanta says, go to a mosque. Raise Muhammad within you. Go to a church. Raise Christ within you. Today, only on the western soil, only on the western coast, 75% churches have been closed. People go to such churches where meditation is encouraged. Christ awakening, Buddha awakening. That's a new civilization pattern. We have not taken it, that's why we suffered. That's my opinion.
Dr. Vats, VIPS has been doing very well. So how do you monitor your quality of education? And how are you propagating the thoughts of Swami Vivekananda through your institution?
The first thing that I learned and my teachers taught me is this right conduct. Now, right conduct is an all-comprehensive, very profound, term. How to ensure that your conduct is ideal, and how you conduct in life is a model, is a role model.
Correct.
You set an example for others with your right conduct. So like being truthful, it's the eternal value which everyone should practice. But now, most of the time, people lie for small things. So you need to have right conduct, sense of duty and sense of responsibility. These 3 things we teach them. I go from class to class spreading this message. Always practice right conduct. Always try to imbibe sense of duty. And always try to imbibe sense of responsibility. Now I go from class to class spreading this message. Always practice right conduct. Always try to imbibe sense of duty.
Okay.
And always try to imbibe sense of responsibility. Now the quest for knowledge, the spirit of inquiry is missing. Man doesn't know which direction is he going. He or she is going.
Correct.
You just come for cramming, you just for learn for periphery, you just want to commit certain things to memory, just for the qualifying examination, and it really doesn't tantamount to creating a knowledge society. I mean, I too happen to be unfortunately on the board of management of IIM Raipur, but what you find there is that you have the bricks and mortars and you don't have the spirit. Where is the spirit missing? The spirit is going to be put together only when you have the right faculty, learned faculty, and how do you root them in?
So to quickly...
In a God-forsaken place like Kashipur, you don't have a director in place in the IIM. Unfortunately so, you have hundreds of crores of rupees available for creating new IIMs and new IITs, but you do not have the faculty. You do not have the right people to lead it. So what you need is a scientific temperament, which Swamiji preached that we need to have a scientific temperament. And the Western science and the Eastern wisdom need to be blended.
Let me wrap this up by asking you 2 action points which you can suggest to improve the overall situation.
I'll go back to something that was mentioned by a number of panelists, which had, especially Professor Bandyopadhyay, about the nature of research that is required of faculty in higher education. The system in India does not incentivize research. There is very little incentive, especially to publish in leading journals, which are double-blind. Okay, that means the author and the editor and the reviewers don't know the other person. So the quality of the research is presumably of a higher standard because there's no personal involvement. So the nature of research is one issue, and the standards and incentives associated with this kind of research. The other, again, has to do with the faculty, and I'm just basing this on my experience, is that human beings value security and they value monetary benefit. The existing university systems in India are security-based, so once you're in, you're pretty much in for life. Whereas in other countries, and the one that I'm most familiar with in the US, you have to prove beyond just getting a PhD that you are going to be a valuable part of the institution, and you go through a period of getting tenure, which can last 8 to 10 years before you are you get a job for life. So in a sense, the system, the incentives have to be appropriate to the outcomes, that we are looking for.
So what are your 2 action points?
Well, you need multiple actions, but I think if you ask me what is the most important thing, I think with all the committees which the government set up, about more than half a dozen, 7, 8, I think a lot of effort and time has gone into them. Some interesting suggestions have been given. I think the government should come up with a higher education policy. How are we going to advance research? How are we going to attract people back? How many people we are going to send abroad, and in which areas of research? Materials, nuclear physics, solar materials, agriculture, computational area, which areas? Even that is not clear. And I personally see we are giving a very bad example. Probably the government is not realizing this. When the Prime Minister of the country says something, you know, and which is all very meaningful. He set up the National Knowledge Commission. Yashpal Committee was also set up then by MHRD. So these committees are your committees. Find out what is good things, find out what is not applicable because we are democratic or we are too anarchist or we have too many pulls and pressures on us which we cannot handle. But at the end of the day, with so many committees, so much money of the country used, The ministries should stop working at cross purposes. This was mentioned, we cannot interact. Now we are asking scientists to interact. But can MHRD and Ministry of Science and Technology work together to see how grants will be given to the universities for competitive grant system? No, they'll go a different way, just for the heck of it. When the national cause and the cause of educating the young people should be the uppermost on our minds, why these small bickerings come into, where is the problem? And I don't know how spirituality can help these guys. They need some lessons that work together. It's a bigger national cause. What is this political posturing? One person is going this way, one person is going that way. So I think the most important thing is a higher education policy based on the recommendations which have been made to the government. Then people can discuss, Parliament can discuss, the whole country can discuss, and we will have to be strong-willed on this. For example, incentives. If some teacher is not performing well, you are promoting because there is some union of teachers knocking at this. What spirituality is in this? What ethics are in this? This is lumpenism. So you must develop criteria that, you have to perform, you have to work, you're being paid. You can come and negotiate us with I want more money. That's okay. But you have to perform once you take up a job.
Correct. Very well said, sir. Swamiji, your quick points.
Science has come to stay. And as Vivekananda taught us, don't teach religion except in the language of science. Otherwise people will not accept it just. We cannot ignore the universal values of religion which are coinciding with science.
Okay.
If I hate you, according to the latest discoveries of science, is the interconnected universe, even at a long space-like distance.
What is your second suggestion?
Second suggestion is, since you have understood it, try to develop these qualities by developing your right brain. Your left brain will never give you this value education.
Okay.
And right brain can be developed by prayers, by Om, by meditation, by service to others.
Dr. Vats, what are your 2 quick points to improve the current situation?
Well, I think 2 things that I'll stress upon, that there should not be churning of researchers and PhD scholars, and I see so many people holding PhD but contentless people. And they're having doctoral degrees, then they apply for jobs, they have the requisite qualification where they fit into it, but then the requisite knowledge they don't possess.
Okay.
So much of churning, mechanical churning of PhDs and doctoral research people, has got to be regulated. Enough flexibility should be given to the vice chancellors and to the universities in terms of offering them pay scales. So you can't have a fixed pay band where you want to fit in one of the brightest person would like to come on a little higher band or would like to have all comforts of life. If somebody is worthy of being a professor from day one, why can't he or she be employed as a professor directly? Why does one has to go to the rigmarole of all this procedural things, get struck? And as I said, rightly said it, if there is some research, you need to clear the money fast.
Correct.
So he can get out to a job. His accountability is there to the accounts department.
So we need to be more proactive.
I think there has to be a greater flexibility in the university system.
Okay.
There should be very fast-track sanctions of money for new research in newer areas of research. That you need to identify areas, as has been very aptly put by Professor Pental, that how many, in which other areas you want. How many PhDs? You want in agriculture, you want in chemistry, physics, or nuclear physics, or any other branch of physics or science.
Okay, I thank you all for the precious time and your opinion. Let me end the session with Swami Vivekananda's quote that real education is that which enables one to stand on his or her legs. Thank you so much.